What if I told you real superpowers exist on Earth? Not in comic books, not in movies, but in living creatures that walk, swim, and crawl around us every day. Some can lift hundreds of times their own weight. Some can survive freezing, boiling, even space itself. And one creature can strike so fast, it creates a flash of light underwater. For humans, these abilities would be impossible. But in the animal kingdom, they are simply normal. So the question is, why did nature create such powers? And what would happen if humans had them too? Tonight, we explore the animals with real superpowers. And some of them are more unbelievable than fiction. Imagine lifting a car. Now imagine doing it while weighing less than a grain of rice for one tiny creature. That is everyday life. The ant. At first glance, it seems insignificant, small, fragile, easy to overlook. But ants are among the strongest creatures on Earth relative to their size. Some species can carry 50 times their own body weight. That would be like a human lifting a truck above their head. But strength is not their only power. Ant colonies behave like a single living organism. Millions of individuals working together, building massive underground cities, farming fungi, even raising livestock like aphids. Yet scientists still wonder something mysterious. How do ants coordinate such complex systems? Without any leader, no commander, no general, no central brain. And somehow, everything works perfectly. So what invisible system guides them? We'll come back to that. But first, let's dive into the ocean, because the next superpower sounds like pure science fiction. Deep beneath the ocean surface lives a hunter smaller than your hand. Yet its attack is one of the fastest movements in the animal kingdom. This creature is called the mantis shrimp. At first glance, it looks colorful, almost beautiful. But behind those alien-like eyes hides a biological weapon. Its front limbs function like spring-loaded hammers. When it strikes, the speed reaches 80 kilometers per hour, faster than a bullet fired from some guns. The impact is so powerful, it can break aquarium glass. But the strangest part happens after the strike. The speed creates tiny bubbles in the water. They collapse instantly, releasing heat and light. A brief flash. A phenomenon known as cavitation. For a split second, the water around the punch becomes as hot as the surface of the sun, all from a creature, only a few inches long. But how can such a small body generate that much power? To understand that, we must look at another animal that mastered survival itself. Some animals survive extreme strength, others survive extreme speed. But one creature survives something even more unbelievable. Almost everything. Freezing temperatures, boiling heat, extreme radiation, even the vacuum of space. This microscopic animal is called the tardigrade, also known as the water bear. It is so small, you need a microscope to see it. Yet it might be one of the toughest organisms on Earth. When conditions become deadly, the tardigrade performs a strange transformation. It dries itself out, almost completely. Its body curls into a tiny capsule. Scientists call this state cryptobiosis. In this form, the creature can survive for decades, without food, without water, without oxygen. Then when water returns, it wakes up, as if nothing happened. But what exactly protects this tiny creature from such extreme conditions? The answer lies deep inside its cells. Nature often solves problems in ways that seem impossible. But behind every superpower, there is biology. Take the mantis shrimp. Its punch is powerful, not because of muscle alone. Instead, its limbs store elastic energy. Like a compressed spring, the muscles slowly load the spring, then suddenly release it. This mechanism multiplies the force, allowing the strike to become one of the fastest movements ever recorded in animals. Now consider the tardigrade. When it enters cryptobiosis, its cells produce special proteins. These proteins protect vital structures, like DNA and membranes. They replace water inside the cells, almost like biological glass. This stabilizes the body, preventing damage from radiation, freezing, and dehydration. And what about the ants? Remember the mystery we left earlier? How do millions of ants coordinate without a leader? The answer is something called swarm intelligence. Each ant follows very simple rules, leaving chemical trails. Individually, they seem simple, but together, they create an incredibly intelligent system, a living network. Nature doesn't rely on super brains. Sometimes, simple rules create extraordinary power. When we think about superpowers, we imagine flying, laser vision, invincible heroes. But Earth already has its own superheroes. Tiny ones, hidden ones, creatures that evolved abilities, far beyond human limits. Strength that can lift trucks, punches that boil the ocean, bodies that survive outer space. And perhaps the most fascinating truth is this: these powers were never designed. They emerged slowly, across millions of years, through evolution, trial and error, life experimenting, with endless possibilities, which raises a haunting thought. If nature could create such powers, in ants, in shrimp, in microscopic water bears, then what other abilities might still be hidden on this planet, waiting deep in the ocean, high in the jungle, or beneath a microscope lens? Because the deeper we look into nature, the more it feels like we are discovering a world of real superpowers, and we've only just begun to see them.